Hey, everybody, and welcome back to another edition of All Aboard's weekly newsletter. Today, we are going to be talking about something, kind of quick and easy and efficient to try and help you guys drive more sales in your insurance agency. So, I'm going to talk about 4 tips that help you increase your insurance sales without spending any additional money. And so, this is top of mind for everybody. Everybody's trying to increase their sales without increasing their marketing at the same time. Marketing's gotten more expensive, rates are tough, markets are tight, but there are still ways to win and there are still efficiencies to be found. And I'm going to give you 4 ways to do that today. So let's dive in. All right, guys, let's dive in. So we are going to talk about 4 habits. I think I said tips, right? But they're really 4 habits that you can instill in your team. Not going to be easy, but 4 habits to help your team sell more insurance and help your agency grow faster. Okay. I call them habits. And what I always like to talk about when I call these habits, or talk about these habits rather, is that these are things that are easy to do, but they're also extremely easy not to do. And when we think about the habits, the good ones and the bad ones, they typically fall into that bucket. They are small things that every single day are easy to do or easy not to do, but compound over time. I got this idea from this book called The Slight Edge. I read it at the very beginning of my career. Was a quick read, and every once in a while I'll read it again when I'm feeling like I'm in a rut. Okay, so it has shaped the way I think about things. Small daily actions compounded over time lead to massive results. And so the 4 habits I'll lay out today fit in that mold. So let's jump into the first one. Okay, so the first one is something that I talk about all the time. It is asking for referrals. And so there's a lot going on the page here, okay? But small actions lead to massive results. We just talked about that. So if we look up here in this kind of top right quadrant, we'll see that, okay, like let's just talk like with some nice round, easy numbers. Say you make 100 sales a month, okay, 5 a day. That's 5 households. And I know some agencies are going to do 5, 10, 20 times that. Other agencies might be at, 1 or 2 sales a day, or maybe not even 1 a day. But the concept is going to remain exactly the same. So the idea here is that if we have 100 sales and we have a referral rate of 10%, what that means is that if we have 100 sales, that 10% of the time we are getting another person on a referral that we can quote, okay? And so down here, I put this number of referral close rate 37%. Year to date, my agency is closing referrals at 37%. So that means that 4 out of 10, almost 4 out of 10 referrals that we get will close. So I put average premium over here on the right, $835. It's a little bit low. It's a little bit higher than that now. But ultimately, what you can see is if we make 100 sales per month at a 10% referral rate and we close them at 37%, which is again a real number, not made up, we are adding an additional $1,700 of revenue a month. That is about $20,000 to $22,000 a year. It is not an insane number that's going to change your life, but $22,000 a year is not nothing. That could be the difference between you hiring another person or not. It could be the difference between being profitable or not. So let's go to the next stage, right? Let's look if they said we got a 40% referral rate. We get 100 sales and we get 40 referrals quoted. So before somebody tells me that's not realistic, I'll just say this. We set a goal of 25% referral rate for our salespeople at the beginning of this year. We were around 10%. Our goal was to be a 25% referral rate by the 1st of June. Okay, we're now May 20 something, right? We're almost there. We hit the 25% referral rate by March by just being consistent in our ask. So let's look at the difference now. The difference now is a 40% referral rate, and now we're adding $7,000 of additional revenue a month. Now we're close to $100,000 extra dollars per year. And if we compound this up, right, we actually make closer to 250 or 300 sales a month. And so what you can figure out very quickly is that this is a way to make 5, 10, 20,000 extra dollars in a month or a quarter or a year, depending on your average sale volume. This snowballs and compounds just like anything else. And our talk path is simple. We do it on both the service side and the sales side. On the service side, we ask for 4 things on every call, right? We ask our team to give a proper greeting. We ask them to offer a policy review. We ask them for a Google review, and we ask them to ask for a referral, okay? And the talk path goes something like this. Thank you so much for letting me help you out today. Referrals are one of the biggest compliments that we can get. Do you have any family, friends, neighbors, really anybody just like you that you could introduce us to that we might be able to help with their insurance? And of course, we would want you to let them know we're going to reach out. So we would wait a day or two. Do you know anybody that you could introduce me to? And then you just stop talking. And the talk path on the sales side is exactly the same. We require our salespeople to ask for a referral after every single sale. And I talk about here, there's quality assurance. Okay. So we did kind of feast or famine on our sales and service team. So on our service side, we listen to 20 calls a month looking for those four things. And if they don't have at least 85% adherence or something like that, they don't get the bonus. We'll give them a $250 bonus or a $300 bonus, something like that. If they do it 85% of the time, if they don't, they get a cut on their bonus. On the sales side, it's the same thing. If they don't ask for a referral pretty much every single time, they're going to get a haircut of 10 to 20% on their bonus. But if they do it, they get upside as well. Okay. So just by asking the question, we're seeing results. Last year, we averaged 28 policies a month, really items, not policies, but 28 items per month off of referrals. Through 5 months this year, right? I'm counting May now, we're averaging close to 60. And I think that we can be to 100 or 100 plus by the end of the year. Okay. So this is the first habit, is just asking for referrals. I know it sounds so simple, but it works. Okay. The second thing is what I call the 3-line mentality. 2 or 3 years ago, our compensation structure changed in the agency. Basically, what happened, if you wrote monoline business, you weren't going to get paid hardly anything. And so we went back and we looked at our numbers, and we were quoting about 1.5 lines per household. That meant we were bundling the home and the auto basically 50% of the time. And so we started to run some math. And I said, okay, if we look at this on an individual producer basis, okay, how much difference is there if we just bundle more? So over here on the left, you can see that if we do 6 households a day, quote a bundle 50% of the time, we're going to quote about 9 lines, and that's going to turn into about 38 items sold, 34,000 in premium, and $8,500 in revenue. Okay, but we knew that that was a problem. We couldn't bundle at 50%. We needed to get to like 90%. So we worked really hard to quote more lines. And what that came up with is a 3-line mentality. And the reason we did a 3-line mentality and not just a 2-line mentality is because we were dealing with a ton of underwriting issues at the time. Sometimes the home wasn't eligible or the auto wasn't eligible. And so we wanted to get people in the habit of building quotes with 3 lines as often as possible. Because what we would want to happen is if somebody had an auto, a home, and a boat, but that auto was ineligible, maybe they still get the home and the boat, and that is not a monoline policy. It's a bundled policy. We're getting paid more, and it worked, okay? It worked. Our bundling was 91% in the first year after that change. It went from 50 to 91% in 1 year, okay? There's a lot of ways to do that, but a big part of it was this idea of quoting 3 lines every single time. Do we quote 3 lines every single time? Absolutely not, right? Last year, we quoted about 1.92 lines per household on average, okay? This year, our goal is 250, because if you look in the middle of this, you'll see that by going from 1.5 lines quoted per household to 2, that adds about $3,000 per month per producer. So we have, 8 producers, another 5 or 6 in training, getting ready to roll. Imagine 10 extra producers bundling at a higher rate. That could be $30,000 extra dollars of revenue. Okay, so this is how we start to increase efficiency. And then let's look at our goal over here to the right. 6 producers, 2.5 lines. Now we're at $14,000 per household. Is 2.5 realistic? I think it is. Is it easy? Hell no. It's going to take time and training and accountability, but it is something to strive for. Okay, so that is the second habit: is have a 3-line mentality. Quote 3 lines as often as possible. All right, let's go into the third habit. The third habit is one of my absolute favorite things ever. It is what we call 10 or 1. It is something that was developed in the agency with this slight edge mentality, right? Small things done every single day compound to massive results. All right. It is a mindset. 10 or 1 is a mindset. And basically what 10 or 1 is that when we're done at the end of the day, not at 5 o'clock, not at 5:30, but when we are done for the day. That might be 6:15, that might be 6:30, it might be 5:30, it might be 5, right? Whenever your day ends, we do 10 or 1, which is very simple. We make 10 more phone calls or 1 more quote, whichever comes first. And here's what kind of happens. What happens is it's usually after hours. Everybody else has closed up shop. They've gone home. You call somebody, you get somebody on the line in the first maybe 2 or 3 phone calls, somebody who missed calls all day long because they were at work, and they say, "Okay, yeah, I'll take a quote." Right? So almost always you get the quote. It is rare to make the 10 calls and not get it. If you make 10 calls and you don't get the quote, what did it take you? 6 minutes? Something like that, maybe. But if you get the quote, which you usually do, it's usually somebody who doesn't have time to shop with everybody. They work during the day. And a lot of times you can close that call on that first call. Okay. So 10 or 1, right? And the way I think about it is one extra household quote per day turns into 85 extra items per year, right? With the quote, the close rate that we run with our net. And I could break that math down if you need it. Just email me. But 85 extra items per year. Imagine if your whole team, every single person on your team did this and got 85 extra items per year. If you have 3 producers, what would 240 extra items per year do for you? It'd make you a lot of money, probably help you a lot on your grids and your scorecards and your bonuses and your monthly goals and your leaderboards and all those other things. Okay. So that is the third habit is 10 or 1. It is easy to do, but it's easy not to. It's easy to just pack up and go home. I did this when I was a producer and I got a 1 call close almost every single time, almost every time. And if I didn't 1 call close it, a lot of times that person bought from me within a day or 2. Okay. All right. Went backwards here. So let's go to the fourth and final habit. The fourth and final habit is scheduled texting. Not even my whole team does this. I wish I could get my team to do this more consistently, and we are working on it. But if you are not scheduling text messages out, you are missing the boat and you are behind. Okay. It plants the seed. We do this for all types of things, win backs, requotes, future bundles. Okay. If somebody cancels their policy with you, say, "Hey, I'm so sorry that we weren't able to help you, blah, 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 blah. Would you be open to coming back in the future? Do I have permission to text you?" And they say, "Yes, of course," right? This is why handling an exit is so important. Handling it well is so important. And what we talk about here is we just go to our texting platform. For us, that's hearsay. For other people, it's something different. And we just schedule a text for 12 months later. "Hey, you told us that we could reach out a year from now. We have some new rates, updates, blah, 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 blah. Can we help you out?" Right? And you schedule it and you forget about it. Same thing with a requote. "Hey," and this is the example in the photo to the right. "Hey, you got some tickets. When those fall off, I think I'm gonna be able to help you. Would it be cool if I shoot you a text in 3 months or a year or whenever those tickets are falling off to see if we can help you?" Of course you can. Schedule the text. "Hey, you sold the home and the auto, but there's a boat out there that you couldn't get this time." Schedule the text. Because what you are doing is you're giving yourself your future self a favor. Okay. You're doing your future self a favor. It is easy to do. It is also very easy not to do. You can make templates for this stuff. Okay. It takes an extra 30 seconds to schedule the text. And yeah, you're going to delay your gratification a little bit. But a year from today, you are going to start walking into prospects saying, "Yes, I'm ready to go." We quote all of these people and then get a telemarketer to call them back and requote them, right? We do that too. Why are we not just doing our future selves a favor and scheduling the text? Okay. So these are 4 habits that you can use to increase sales. We are doing all 4 of them in our agency. These are the small, seemingly, menial things that someone's like, maybe I'll do it, maybe I won't. But together they can add up to massive results. Okay, y'all. So thank you so much for listening. Thanks for your time, your attention. If you're having any trouble with your team, building the habits, needing some help with talk paths or any of this, we offer sales training through Next Call Club. Let me know if it's something that you need. We'd be happy to talk about what that looks like. Until next week, thank you so much. Have a good one.